live. Welcome to the Standout Business Show. I'm Brad Powell, and I'm so happy you're here. Today, I want to bust some of the most prevailing myths about lead generation. All right, are you ready for some myth busting? So, every time I look anywhere online, I'm seeing this similar promise about how in the next 30 days I can generate 10,000 leads or some such message, some promise about it's not hard. There's just this one secret, there's this one trick. And if you only knew the trick, then leads would just come flowing in your door and your business would thrive and you could sit back and drink your pina coladas or like I'm doing today, my chai tea. And life would be easy. And I just want to call a bunch of BS on this because, first of all, there's no magic bullet. That's not how lead generation works. Now, I want to admit that generating leads is essential. It's kind of the lifeblood of your business. If you're not generating leads and you're not making sales, then actually you don't have a business. And if your business is set up to where it's entirely dependent upon referrals, well, that can be really good. Like that's awesome. Referrals are the best kind of leads to come in your door. But if all your leads are coming through referrals, then you don't necessarily have a lot of control over that, the number of people who come to you. So, you're thinking, well, when somebody comes in my door, I have to accept the offer. I have to accept what they are going to offer me. And I have to say yes to whatever is coming in my direction. And that's not really a good way to run your business either. So today I want to go through a couple of these most, biggest stories that we're telling ourselves about how to get leads and where should leads come from and how to fill your pipeline so that you have this steady group of people who decided that they like you and they know you and they trust you enough to hire you to help them do their business. That's what we're talking about today. Stay tuned. We're going to start the show and dive in. But before I do that, I want to talk about the show itself. Now, this is going to be episode number 94. And I was going to wait until episode number 100 to make this shift, but I just can't wait. I'm making some changes right now, and I would actually like your help and your input on how things are going to unfold in the coming season, the new season of this show. So change number one is that I'm making a slight change in the name of the show. The show has been the Standout CEO Show, and I am changing it to Business Show. So welcome to the Standout Business Show. And the reason for that change is that I have been feeling like, well, when you hear the Standout CEO Show, it has a nice ring to it, but it implies that all we're going to do is talk to and talk about CEOs. And that's not really true, and it's certainly not actually what I've been doing. What I have been doing and what I will continue to do is talk about business practices and businesses who are doing something innovative and creative around their positioning so that they become memorable, so that they become top of mind, so that they become remarkable in some way, so that people will talk about them, people will remember them, and people will think about them when they need to go and solve the problem that that particular business is solving. And in the new season, the whole premise of this new season is all around the people out there, the innovative entrepreneurs who are the outliers, the ones who are positively deviating from the norm. They're doing some uncommon and probably not that well-known practice that would offer a great solution for the rest of us. Because I really believe that for whatever problem you have, particularly business problem that you have, the answer to that problem already exists. there are some excellent entrepreneurs out there who have already solved that problem. And if only we could find them and uncover them and reveal their story and share that around, then we would all benefit and we would all thrive from what they're doing. And with any kind of problem solving that you look at, like all the different problems in the world today, well, actually, the answer probably already exists. Someone who has the same resources and the same, limited amount of time, the same, limited imagination and whatever that you can think of is like what may be holding you back from solving your problem. Someone else has done this. Someone else has confronted the same issues, and they actually have found a very clever solution. And this is what I want to uncover. So this is what I want you to think about. If you know of someone, or maybe you are that someone, who has found this really clever way to come out to the marketplace in a more remarkable, in a more memorable way, in a way that really truly does stand out and will get people engaged with you and get your community talking about you and will help the rest of us thrive, then I want to bring you on the show. Or I want to bring that person on the show, and I want to tell the story of this innovative idea that they have created and how they're applying it and exactly how it works so that we can all learn from them and do the things that work best for our business. So this is the future of the Standout Business Show. Stay tuned. I'm really excited to dive in on all of this and to find and uncover some really cool business stories and some really cool business people who are doing some of the most innovative things and most literally outstanding stuff that we can all learn from and benefit from. But today, we're talking about lead generation and busting the myths of lead generation. So here's myth number one. And the myth number one is that there's some magic secret, that there's some silver bullet, that there's something that other people know that you don't. And, these ads that promise you that you're going to get tons of leads without having to do very much of anything. Well, even though you may not buy into that promise fully, often, and this is true for me, like I see this stuff and it comes by pretty much every day in my social media feed, some kind of promise like this. And it does leave me thinking that, well, maybe this person who's making this promise, maybe they know something that I don't. And maybe if I just knew their secret, if I could just uncover this thing that they're promising, then I would find the answer to all my lead generation issues. And I just want to say, like, no, that's not it. That is not a viable promise. There is no magical thing out there that if, it rains down upon us, that it's going to change the world for you. That there are, in fact, some really good strategies, but the basic idea is the same across the board. What you need is you need some way to get people to know you and to like you and trust you. I mean, I know you've heard this before, but this is it. Like this is the secret. If you have some way that people can get to know you and like you and trust you, because they need to know that you exist in some way. And, like I talk about this a lot, you need to become a familiar face to exactly the right crowd. You need to become familiar to the people who you want to serve. And it's not a particularly hard job to become familiar, but you do want to be super clear about what you offer and who you help. And along the way, as you're spreading your message, you want to have this strong point of view. You want to be standing for something that you believe in, and you want to speak to your ideal client. And you want to speak to them in a way to where they're, after they hear your message, they're going, holy cow, this person is brilliant. I want to go talk with them. I want to go work with them. And that's it. That is the true way to bring people into your fold. There's something that I hear a lot when people are going through my program that I call Mic Drop Moments, which is this simplified video making program, making short form video. And what they, what I hear is that when they've made a bunch of short form videos and they've been putting them out consistently over a period of time, that it is in fact building this trust and familiarity. And when they have people coming to them after they've seen these videos, you know, they're noticing how easy it is to close their prospects. Like people feel like, oh, I already know you. And when they come in on a sales conversation or whatever way that you choose to close with people, they'll actually reference the videos that they've been watching. And so this is the kind of thing that it feels like you are connecting with people, even though you're doing it remotely, and even though you're doing it in this way that, you know, you make your videos once and they get distributed over a long period of time. And, you know, this is where the magic actually does happen, where a version of you, a version of your personality, a version of your point of view, a version of your messaging goes out there and is basically performing for you 24/7 in your various social media feeds, developing this relationship, developing this rapport. And this is one of the ways that you can develop this familiarity with your right audience over a period of time at scale, and without you having to take a lot of time doing it. So this is the kind of thing, like, it's really why I developed it. And I do this for myself. Like, I do go out into the world from time to time and I meet people who have seen my videos, and it's just super common for them to say, oh, you know, it's so nice to meet you in person. And I've been watching your videos and I really feel like I already know you. And that's just a typical comment that I will get. And that is real magic. Like having already that rapport with someone who now sees you as a familiar face is huge in terms of what kind of conversation you can have with them going forward. So that's it. And of course, you know, the magic in doing this is in the execution. And I do see people who are making videos on their own and they're doing it all by themselves and they see it as a kind of do-it-yourself project. And there's a lot of nuance in how this is done that people miss. And everything from how you start the video with your opening statement that will actually get people to stay and watch, to the kind of stories you tell, to the kind of messaging that you're wanting to deliver, all the way to the kind of call to action that you want to give at the end of your video so that you're getting more engagement and you're getting people to come back for more. They're getting people to actually start paying attention to your content in a relatively binge-worthy fashion. So now this moves on to myth number 2, which is that the myth is you believe that you can completely outsource your lead generation, that somehow you can get lead generation going, you can hire an agency and they'll do like Facebook ads, or they'll do some kind of automated system for you, and you don't have to do anything. Like you don't have to have any part of it. You know, maybe at the beginning you help them with your messages, but then you can just walk away and go, okay, I've got an automated system. I've got a passive income thing going here, and it's just automated and it's automatic, and I don't have to be part of it. The whole thing from the leads, you know, finding out about my business to somebody else is selling to them on a sales call to close, and then shazam, I have a new client. And I just want to say that this too is a myth. And it's particularly a myth for your business if you are the kind of consultant or coach, or maybe you're an agency owner and you sell a high ticket service or you sell a high ticket product. And when people are wanting to come and work with you on that level, on this high level, they want to know who they're working with. And part of the reason that they buy is because they're buying you and they're buying the person behind the message. And so what you're selling in a big way is you, like your personality, your point of view, your way of delivery. And this is a big part of your offer. And if you don't bring yourself into that offer, then people are going to walk right on by. They're not going to pick you. They're going to pick the person who they actually do feel like they've gotten to know, and they do feel that they've gotten to trust. And so here again, like, one of the answers to this question is you need to put yourself into your messaging. Literally, be the face of your brand. Like, if you want to become familiar, your face needs to be in there. And, you know, all of this, when you're thinking about, you know, how do I do this and how does this actually work for me? You have to be thinking about, in this time, more and more people are wanting to know the person behind the business, no matter what business it's in. You know, we've all seen websites that are relatively faceless and corporate looking and literally quite bland, like unremarkable. And when you go to a website like that, like, there's no compelling reason for you to pursue them any further, simply because you have no idea who the people are behind the business. And one of the best ways to be the person behind your business and to express, like, who you are and what you think and what you believe in and what you stand for and all of that kind of thing, your own personality and your own personal philosophy about how you do your business and how you do your work, and in fact, why you're doing your work in the first place. All of that, if you're doing it on video, you know, there's so many places that you can put that video. You know, of course you can have it be posted all over social media, but it can also be strategically placed on your website. It can be strategically placed in the emails that you send out. And something that hardly anyone is doing very well is you can use short form videos in your messaging when you're actually working with a prospect during the time that they have met you and before they get on a sales call. So you can send video messages. And you can do this a variety of ways, but short little videos that are personal, where you're actually talking to the person by name and you are sending them, you know, a message that is really catered and bespoke for them. This is a great way to be serving these folks before you actually start working with them, so that they're feeling like, oh, here's somebody who's really genuinely interested in me. Here's someone who has my best interest in mind, and I'm getting to know them. I'm getting to get a really good feeling for what it would be like to work with them. And if you're doing this at scale, then your lead generation, you know, it starts to build like that faucet. If you can imagine a faucet of people coming through, that is starting to open, and more people are finding you and discovering you, and they're getting a feeling, that experience of what it's like to work with you. And this, more than anything, is a way to build trust with your prospective clients. And I know this from experience. All of the people who go through my mic drop moments have the same kind of result work for them. And for myself, I do this all the time. I'm using video in a variety of innovative ways. I use short form videos. I do long form content just like this, these sort of pillar content. And between the two, one of the net results is that I'm building myself an authority position for what I want to be known for, which is helping people grow their brand on video. And I'm doing it in this way that you can alternate between, you know, getting a really quick, short idea or step or tip or answer to your question in a short form video, and going deeper with long form content like this piece of content, the Standout Business Show. So this is the way for you to stand out, and is the way to turn up the tap on your lead generation. And it is not anything like what you see out there with all the bro marketing promising of 50 million leads in no time at all without you having to do anything, and you don't even have to show up. Like, really, truly, none of that is true. So that's what I have for you today. I'd really like to hear from you around ideas for the Standout Business Show. Particularly, I want to uncover the hidden stories, the undiscovered stories of the most innovative people who are building a remarkable, outstanding brand for themselves. And they're doing it in this way that the rest of us may have missed. And I know these stories are out there, and you may be one of them. And if so, send me a DM and we'll see if we can get you on the show. So thanks so much for today. Stay tuned. I go live every Thursday at 11 a.m. Eastern Time, and it's Eastern Daylight Time now because the time just changed. And next week I have a guest all the way from the United Kingdom. So we're going to talk about brand building. He's one of the most innovative brand builders in the UK. I can't wait for this one. And until then, so long.